Hi everybody, it's Eric, and thanks for joining us for our video conversation. Busy week in Washington. Spent a lot of time meeting with a lot of Minnesotans from the MS Society, some of our American Legions, Veterans of Foreign Wars, talking about important initiatives of veterans. Our county commissioners were out to visit as well. Last week we had the historic opportunity to connect as a part of history with only 4 U.S. civilians have ever had the opportunity to lay in honor in the United States Rotunda, and that was Billy Graham. And I went to that service as well. It touched many, many millions, more than any other human being across the world, actually. Let's get to our questions, though. And the first actually comes from Patrick in Bloomington. He writes in, "Dear Congressman Paulson," it's by an email, "I strongly urge you to do whatever is in your power to make sure President Trump does not impose tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. Such an action would bring about disastrous consequences for the economy as a whole, especially for small American manufacturers. At the end of the day, this will raise costs for American companies and consumers. Thank you, Patrick." Actually, ditto, Patrick. I completely agree. I think it's important to target tariffs for enforcement purposes only at the bad actors. If they're broad and sweeping, as we've seen the president and the administration do now, this can backfire in a hurry. So I'm continuing to voice my concerns and opposition to this so we don't detract from our opportunity to export American goods and services around the world. Next up is an email we got from Nancy in Minnetonka, and she writes in, "I am writing to ask you to protect children by co-sponsoring legislation that fights online child sex trafficking. Some interactive computer service providers like Backpage.com have knowingly promoted and facilitated child sex trafficking and abuse through online ads with no legal repercussions. Multiple courts have ruled that operators of Backpage and other such sites cannot be held liable for their actions, even when they're advertising child sex trafficking. Bipartisan legislators want to close that loophole. The Stop Enabling Sex Traffickers Act would help hold operators who knowingly facilitate child exploitation accountable while protecting those who work to ensure child safety online. Please co-sponsor this bipartisan legislation and advocate for its passage. Sincerely, Nancy." Nancy, actually, I'm a co-sponsor of the bill. We passed it in the House just a week ago with bipartisan support, so no longer will these websites be held unaccountable for their actions. They will be liable. They will have the opportunity for now law enforcement and prosecutors to go after them for advertising sex with 15-year-olds, 14-year-old girls, which we have absolutely seen that has been a part of the growing sex trafficking and human trafficking market. Continue to reach out, share your thoughts anytime on Facebook, on Twitter, of course on Instagram, or at the website paulson.house.gov. Have a great weekend and a great week.